Hello everyone. If it's your first time to the channel, welcome, and if it's not, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to continue playtesting in the GD02 meta, this time playing red-white. To start off the deck, we have 4 Ilfriths and 4 Rick Diaz as some of our early game blockers to try to survive long enough to get to our mid game and our boss monsters. I'm running 3 Kshatriya because we are running Marita as one of the pilots. It just gives you another link. At times it gives you a nice little ping that can help you finish off some blockers or some weenies that are kind of still on the board. I'm running 3 1-ofs because I am play testing. I like to try to see like what feels better when I run them, right? And so I'm running 1 Sayla's Light type cannon. This could be good against aggro, right? If they play Corsica base on 3, on your 3-4 turn, you can play Sayla's Light type cannon and get rid of the Tallgeese token. It can also help against like white mirrors if they happen to make the 4-2 blocker, so that's pretty nice. I'm trying a 1 of Gira Zulu. This just pings 1 damage. It can be played off of full frontal though, and so I just kind of I'm trying him out to see kind of how he feels. He's also, both of these are also 4 health, and so they survive a wing 0, or at times they can swing into a base and then they survive both like a Ilfrith and a Rick Diaz, and just puts damage on them, which then you can use some of your other guys to finish them off. So trying these 2 out, and then the other one I'm trying out is just a 1 of Relula, just like as a 5th base and a potential ping at times. To continue though, we're playing 4 Kshatriya. Kshatriya and Marita is just a really strong link. It's really good against aggro. It's okay against the white mirrors, just because like Ilfrith has 4 health, Rick Diaz has 3 health, so it just at times you just feel like you need a little bit more. But against aggro, it's really good at helping you stabilize. I'm running 4 Sinanju. This card is a if this card sticks, it just can provide you so much value, especially if you have a pilot under it, and so it forces people to have to deal with it, which is really nice. And then for the last units, we're running 3 Qubeley. When paired to do damage onto something is really nice. That's also why I do like the Gira Zulu, because there's times where you have a Qubeley and then your opponent has like nothing on board that has been pinged, and so if you play this, like it just guarantees like to where like now your Qubeley's live. So at times that comes into play. For that though, for the pilots, like I said, for Marita, I'm running 4 Haman and then 2 full frontal. There's a case to be made to change this to 3 and 3, just so that like your Sinanju on 6 link, you're able to see a little bit more. But like I said, that's why we're playtesting. 4 overflowing affection just to help you cycle. 4 close combats. I'm not running any Battle of Aces, because Battle of Aces requires your opponents to have damage on them, and while at times that is very influential, there's times where Battle of Aces just dead in your hand. Whereas like close combat on 2, like if you go first on 2 and you're playing against aggro, like this guarantees that you kill something, which is really nice. And being able to just do 2 damage to something unconditionally is really good. 3 striker packs just for some extra defense. The 4 mining asteroid, just it's a big booty base, and then the 1 of Relula. So that is the deck profile. Now let's get into some gameplay. Alright, found the game. I think I'm going to take first. I've been liking going first in this meta just because like aggro wants to go first. And I'm going to keep this hand. It doesn't look like it's the best, right? I don't really have a lot of units, but I don't really have any early game plays in the deck normally anyway, outside of like Overflowing Affection. But I like saving Overflowing Affection for later in games versus at the beginning. And then the close combat gives me a turn 2 play if I'm playing against aggro, which there's been a lot of aggro in the meta lately. And so I'm just going to draw, and I'm just going to end my turn. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just get rid of it. I could wait till he swings, Alright, but it doesn't change it too much. If he happens to put a pilot on it, then like my close combat doesn't do that. It doesn't really survive anymore. So now here I am going to play the Overflowing Affection just to cycle, see what I can get. And I'm playing aggro. So I'm going to get rid of one of the Sinanjus, because I do have like the Haman link. And unfortunately I can't play anything else, which sucks a little bit. Didn't draw into a different blocker, but it just is what it is. I'm going to save the close combat in case he plays another small guy. Yep, nothing we can do about that. Plays out a Tall Geese token. And I am going to close combat the Tall Geese token. Now I have a couple of options. I can play double blocker, I can play Kshatriya, or I can link the Kshatriya, but then I only play one unit. And so I think I'm just going to play the double blocker for now. I'm going to make a 4-2 instead of 2-2-4s. No, we'll just do the 2-2-4s. Because then I can block the Rick Dom here. If he gets rid of it, that's fine. I can still link my Merida with the Kshatriya next turn, clear the base, and get rid of the Rick Dom. And if he has a pinger to get rid of it, that's fine. It still just kind of went 1 for 1. Yep. And then he has another Rick Dom. Drawing another blocker would be really nice here. That's really good as well. Because I'm just going to link, swing at the base, get rid of this Rick Dom. I'm going to play out another baby Kshatriya and pass. We're a little bit behind, but we're not too bad. This is the turn where only playing the Sinanju feels a little bit bad. He could trade here, and then he gets the token. Is he just going to pass here? This one we have to let go through, because if not, he can just also swing the Rick Dom into it and then just get the breach. And I don't have Kshatriya to do a bunch of damage. Okay, what does that change for us? Either way, I have to pair. So if I pair, I can do 1 and then 2 damage. So I can get rid of 2, and then this can still clear into here. So I think that's kind of just the play. This is going into here. And then we have to do Kshatriya Haman. Now the question is, do we want to get rid of the Char or the 2-2? I mean, it sucks either way, right? But we kind of have to do these two. And the reason for that is going into the next turn, he was able to already make the decision on what he was going to get. I really don't know what the right answer is, honestly. I don't know which one's better to get rid of. But him not drawing 2 cards seemed like the better play there at the moment. Plays out a white base. And passes. Okay. That is very, very good here. That was a hell of a top deck. I was just going to play the Sinanju and just have it live. But now, I mean, we're just going to link. And we can do... I think it's just the Rick Dom. I think we just get rid of the Rick Dom. Do double damage. He does get a Char Link. And I'm potentially... I'm just going to swing with the blocker. I'm going to force him to go into my board because I have lethal now. And he needs 3 links to be able to kill me this turn. There's an argument to be made to just leaving 1 life up, but that's okay. This doesn't die here. He has to have a pinger, which, I mean, he probably does. Okay. Or just trades the token. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Trades into the Kshatriya. Now, does he have another base? Does have another base, okay. So he's not in a bad spot. I'm gonna play Overflow and Affection and just see what we get. Now I'm at 7, so we have to get rid of here. And then I'm just gonna play the Sinanju, the Ilfrith, and pass. And then we should just win on the next turn. He needs, I mean, if all 4 of these went through, he'd still need double link, and he only has 3 cards in hand for me to die this coming turn. And then I do have 2 blockers still active, and so I'll be able to block multiple attacks if needed. And he needs to get rid of this Sinanju and another body to be able to not die on my next turn. We got a little bit lucky with the Haman top deck. Even if we didn't, though, I would have just played the Sinanju, and then he wouldn't. I don't know that he would have had a way to clear it. And my opponent just disconnected. Yeah, so I think he could just see the writing on the wall, and that's a GG to my opponent. All right, and for the next game. Okay, we have a game against Jason. I actually didn't pay attention to the name of the first one. That's kind of my bad. But he chose to go first, so he could be playing aggro. This is a very weird hand, but I do have a blocker on 2. On my 2/3 turn, and so I'm going to keep it. And I have the Overflow and Affection for my 3/4. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty good. So we have our Rick Dom into Overflow and Affection and Kshatriya. We also have the Kshatriya Marita Link, and we're playing against red, so this might be a red green potentially. Could also be red white mirror. Is it worth it to block here and just take the trade? or be greedy. I think I'm just going to take the trade. And then plays out a... Okay, so he is playing red-purple. I'm going to save this for next turn. I don't want to waste that yet. And so I'm going to play an Overflowing Affection. See what we get. He's playing red-purple, so there's going to be no tokens. So I'm potentially just going to give up the Sayla's Light Mass. And I'm just gonna play out my Kshatriya and pass. I'm gonna need at least 2 pilots. And if he pings here, he draws 1. But then I can ping it here and finish getting rid of it. Cycles out a full frontal, gets to draw 1. We do get another Overflowing Affection, which is pretty nice. It's a good time to get it. Now, I think it's just the Overflowing Affection, because I'm not getting rid of the Kshatriya or Sinanju or Qubeley. They just get better and better as the game goes on. And so I'm just going to clear out the EX base. Play out my Gira Zulu, get rid of the first form and pass, and then next turn I have Kshatriya Merida. If he goes wide, if he plays, okay, he's gonna use close combat. That's fine with me. He can trade this into here now. Plays out a Rebake. And a Shuji's Hideout. And then just decides to trade. We do get a 3rd pilot. I don't love that, but it's okay. I'm just going to play out a Sinanju and pass. I have double pilot for next turn if needed. He uses 2 close combats to get rid of the Sinanju. I am very okay with that, because now I'm going to play out my Kshatriya Link. I'll be able to ping both of these, and then I'm going to get rid of the first form. See if he decides to block. He does not block, and then he's going to ping my Gira Zulu. I kind of want to just swing it, but at the same time, I don't. I'm just going to play out a blocker. I'm going to play out a 2/4 blocker and pass. If he wastes a close combat on it, that's fine. It is what it is. But if I swing it, he can block and then just put a pilot on the rebake and swing here, and then just kind of lose a little bit of everything. But he plays out a Sayla's Light Mass, pings 2 damage to my blocker. The Shuji's hideouts haven't been amazing, but they have been annoying. He has double Sayla. Okay, that's really good for him. We do get a base. That's really nice. And we get the Haman. Okay. So I'm gonna swing. And I'm just gonna ping the blocker. Maybe there's an argument to be made for me to ping something else, but that's okay. Because now that we drew the Haman, what is the best thing to target? I think I'm just gonna ping some damage here, because that way they already have some damage on them, and then just being able to do 2 damage is a little bit easier than having to do 4 later on. So I'm gonna hit for double strike, and then I'm going to swing again. Put him down to 1. He does get a close combat burst, which helps a lot here. There's an argument to be made for him to put it on this Kshatriya and then just trade the Sayla into this Kshatriya, because he still has 4 health. So now he has to ping, unless he has a way to ping it. A Kshatriya link is really good here. It helps him clean up the board. I think he should have pinged Qubeley, unless he's going to trade these into the Kshatriya, or these 3 into my Kshatriya and my. Okay. He does have a Mikazuki pilot, so he has another ping. I mean, this works, right? He still has 2 units up, and he's able to clear my entire board. Alright, a blocker would be really nice here. A baby Kshatriya would be really nice. I'm just going to play the Sinanju, and then if he doesn't have a way to clear it, we do have potential game next turn if he doesn't have last life base. Either way, though, we're in a really good spot, because if it is last life base, we would still ping 2 damage here, and then the Kshatriya and Marita could trade into both of them, and we keep the Sinanju up. So, but we do have the link. And although it did start getting a little bit scary there at the end, because my opponent was able to clear my board, we were able to get there. So that's a GG to my opponent. I just don't think we were ever ahead in that game. Alright, and now for our final game, we're going to play against Ball, who's deciding who goes first or second. Decides to go second, and I'm going to mold his hand because we have 4 bursts. Draw into a Sailor's Light Mass, and then we're going to pass. I'm assuming it's going to be a white mirror because he chose to go second. Well, it might not be a mirror, right? It could be green, it could be blue, but I'm assuming that there's going to be white. We don't have anything we can play, so we're just going to pass. Probably going to see an Ilfrith come down. I can see the future. I mean, it was a 50-50 chance, right? It's either an Ilfrith or a Rick DS that's going to come down. Just going to play out my Rick DS. He just gives me the option to force aggro. If he doesn't play another blocker here, I'll swing. If he plays another blocker, then I won't swing. He could have unforeseen incident though, which does punish me swinging. It's probably best for me not to swing. So let's just do the smart play, right? I could just play here and ping it 1. Does that do a lot for me? Not really. I think we just play some bodies and go wide. And then next turn we can potentially swing. I can swing this coming turn with both of these and then just play the Kshatriya Haman to clean up anything that he maybe blocks with. We still don't know what his second color is. Okay, now we know it's green. Okay, and now we are going to go in. Especially now that we know it's green-white. I'm just gonna swing. I'm honestly going to swing with everything. Okay. Does this change anything? I really wish this was another body. That's a little annoying. That's a little annoying because this survives now and it guarantees clearing. And we can't clear both because this only does 2 damage, so this would still survive with 1. So you might as well just save that. Also save it, play the body, that's going to kill it. I wish this was another baby Kshatriya or even a Sayla's Light type mask, because I would have just played here and then played the other body and just gone wide and then saved the Kshatriya for when we need it. But does he have the wing link? He does have the wing link here. And then uses the EX resource for a base. Swings into the Ilfrith. We're pretty okay with this. I really want to establish the Sanaju this coming turn, but I just kind of, well, I couldn't. Now I can. Now, okay, now we can. Oh, we can't. We're still only at 6. That's rough. If we were at 7, I could play the Sanaju and play out the close combat. I have to get rid of him, unfortunately. This is always going at base. Yeah, we have to. God, this feels so bad though. God, it feels really, really bad. Unfortunately. Because then if not, we lose here. Do you care? Do you care if you lose here? You know what? We're going to act like we don't care. Because we have the base and it doesn't breach the base anyway. And then the Sinanju gets really nice value next turn. Because we have the Pinger and the close combat. So we can, and we have a Haman so we can high maneuver and then breach. Oh, okay. That punishes this play a lot. God, having a linked wing hero into linked Kira is pretty rough. But we're still not in a terrible spot here. Oh, okay, never mind. Now we are. Now we're in a really bad spot. The trade would have put us in a not terrible spot, but now we're in a pretty bad spot. But no, even then we're not bad off. We're not bad off because we're gonna close combat this here, and then just replay out the Sinanju and pass. This is only 5 AP, right? Yeah. Okay. See, that's a little bit of my issue with Relula. But then again, like Suji's hideout is the same, right? It's only a level 4 lower, so it is what it is. We do have a way to kill this next turn. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so what is our move here? We have the overflowing affection. We have the Pinger. So the Pinger Herman clears the base, gets rid of the ale. Then we don't really have a blocker. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can play 1 overflowing affection here. Potentially 2. Okay. Does this change anything? Yeah. Does this change anything? I think so. Either way, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a little rough. I think we just want to play the Haman though. This is annoying. Okay, so God, not being able to play out the Haman this turn is a little rough, but actually we can still play out the Haman. But we don't have a pilot for it anymore. But is that alright? That's fine. We can play the other overflowing affection then if we're going to play out the Qubeley. And I think it's just the Relula. I think we just get rid of the Relula. Okay, now we're in a really good spot. Because he can play Wing, but Wing doesn't really do anything because we're not affected. This makes our... Does he survive? He survives with 1 HP here. Okay. I lied. He has the other unforeseen incident. Okay, we're still pretty okay with this though, because we can put him at 0. Man, I think we just put that there. Yeah, we're not in a terrible spot here. Having 2 blockers sucks a little bit, but or him having 2 blockers. Now, what does this change? Well, we can clear here. We can clear one of the blockers. Well, we can clear both of the blockers actually. Okay, so we're good. So we're just going to play the Girazulu, ping the Ilfrith. Put the Haman here. This is going to force the striker pack block, because if not, it's double damage. We're going to close combat that away, and then I'm going to play out the 2/4 blocker and pass. This way he can't kill this at this moment in time anyway. That's okay. That just goes. Because this way, if he has a like a Death Scythe with a duo link, then we can just block it, and then our Qubeley survives. This is pretty good. That's a really good top deck for us, because then we can clear this wing now. Okay, and then now we have potential lethal next turn. Still don't swing with the blocker, because we want our Qubeley to be able to survive. If he doesn't have another blocker, then we can potentially win this next turn. He does have another blocker. Gets rid of the token here. Okay. Now we're not scared of dying yet, so whatever we draw, which is that's a hell of a top deck, I'm just gonna play it and pass. We're not scared of dying yet. If he draws a wing 0, it doesn't kill anything on our side, so we can still hold off for one more turn. That is another really good top deck here, because it allows us to clear one blocker by itself, and we're gonna clear out here, so we get high maneuver. And then this is gonna ping 2 damage to the ale, and then we're gonna swing and get rid of the ale. And then he has to block this, and he only has 1 blocker left. So I'm gonna give him the rematch, but I'll do it off camera, and so that we can continue kind of like the deck discussion, right? But that's a GG to my opponent here. All right, and for the final deck discussion, right? So we played against a aggro, a blue-green. We played against a little bit of a mid-range, right? Like a red-purple, and then we ended it with a green-white. So we played a few meta decks. We kind of saw the differences. Is kind of what we want to do against both, right? So we want to see a little bit more of our like ping and blockers early game. The game plan is mostly the same, right? Just the way you play it can be a little bit different, and kind of what you need to do. But the deck itself was overall pretty consistent, pretty good. If you don't see the issue with red white at the moment is if you don't see some of your links on curve or like at specific times, then you can just fall really behind. And while you have somewhat of a comeback mechanic, like you don't have too much of a comeback mechanic, and so that's kind of where we are. It's still a really solid deck. I think it can beat any deck in the meta, honestly. Like it has a pretty good green-white match. Blue-white can be your hardest matchup just because they'll outlast you. Aggro, if you don't see what you need to see, they'll just steamroll you, but aggro does that to anybody. So I think it's a really solid deck. We kind of showcased that today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day, everyone.